Hi, I'm Bill Woodard. Welcome to the Smith County Chamber Corner.
Hey, Chris Hicks here with UT Extension. I'm here with Katie Martin, and we want to give you an update today about some of the things that are going on at the University of Tennessee Extension office. I'm going to begin, Katie, with some of the agriculture things that are coming up. And before I do that, I want to talk specifically to our home gardeners out there. I know it's a little bit early in the year to be talking about gardening, but if you are planning on putting out a garden, it's a good time to be thinking about it. And I've got 3 tips that I thought I'd give today about gardening and things to be doing this time of year. Number 1 is going to be to run a soil test. And it's a good time of year to be thinking about soil testing when the ground is dry enough. It's probably not a good day today, but when the ground gets nice and dry enough where you can run a sample, go ahead and pull some soil samples so you can start fertilizing or thinking about your fertility plan. And that soil test is really the only way to know what the fertility is, and then we can match what fertility you have to the crop that you plan on growing and make some recommendations to help you with that. Number 2 would be if you're starting plants from seed, now's the time that you want to be kind of thinking about doing that. And the cheapest money you're going to spend if you're growing plants is going to be on the seed. So go ahead and get good certified seed that has as good a disease resistant package as you can have. And so don't start with dirty, nasty seeds, because that's just going to bring in diseases and things like that. And then the third thing is go ahead and make a plan for the layout of your garden. So don't just go out there and, in March or April and start planting things wherever, and think about transitioning and doing things in different spots of the garden. So if you grew tomatoes in a spot last year, grow a different crop next year. Rotate to not just a different crop, but a different family of crops. So don't put a pepper plant in that spot. Instead, put something completely different, like a corn plant, so a sweet corn or something like that. So if you have questions about some of those things, and we've got a lot of publications at the UT Extension office that can help you, and I'd be glad to come and help you work on your garden plan. The other thing I wanted to mention before we talk about a lot of 4-H things that you've got going on is we've got a lot of different activities coming up this winter. For row crop producers, for livestock producers. We have our Cattlemen's Association annual meeting is January 22nd. We've also got 2 very extensive classes that we're going to have coming up. Our Master Beef Producer class will start in February, and also starting in March is going to be our Master Small Ruminant class. It's the first time we've done a combined sheep and goat class, so we're going to be doing that in March. And if you'll come by our office or give us a call at 735-2900, we'd be glad to provide you information about those classes, but they will be full of a lot of good educational material. We're going to talk about forages, we're going to talk about health, we're going to talk about genetics, just all kinds of different topics at those classes. For our crop producers, we've got a weed control meeting in February. We've got some tobacco meetings coming up in February, and also our pesticide certification classes. So if you are a crop producer or a fruit and vegetable producer and you buy specific chemicals to use on your farm that require a license to purchase, we're going to have training classes so that you can do that in a safe manner, and you'll have that license to buy those chemicals. Now that I've got all that out of the way, Katie, I know I dominated the time, so I want to give you a chance. I think last week you celebrated 1 year with UT Extension, so you've been here a year, and Katie's doing great work. So why don't you tell us about what all is going on in the 4-H program?
Well, it sounds like you guys are staying busy in the ag side of things, and we're certainly staying busy in the 4-H side of things this time of year. Coming up on spring is really when we have lots of contests and activities going on. So in these months upcoming, we're really preparing for those. So in February, which is coming up quickly, we have 3 different different activities that we'll begin practicing. One of those is our archery team. Our 4-H archery group is open for 4th through 12th graders. There is a Genesis, compound, and a recurve division. Currently, we're mainly focusing on the Genesis division, but we've got a great group of kiddos that competed last year. We're looking forward to growing that and competing this year. So that starts up in February. Horse judging is also going to be starting in February. Basically, we learn how to judge different breeds of horses, how to judge different riding disciplines, and this is a great way for horse-loving kiddos that maybe don't have a horse themselves to get involved in the 4-H horse project. So excited about that. Practices start in February, contest in March, and we also have our livestock judging competition coming up as well. So we'll start practicing for that in late February. In the livestock judging competition, they learn how to judge cattle, hogs, sheep, and goats. So anybody that's interested in livestock, that's a great way to train their eye and get a little more experience and gain some critical thinking skills. So excited about all those contests that are coming up. And if you're interested in participating in any of those, you can either email me or call our office and we can get you signed up and get you all the information you need. Besides that, we have our chick chain coming up quickly. We are passing out information for that in our school clubs this month. Our deadline to register for Chick Chain is February 2nd. In Chick Chain, our 4-Hers are able to purchase 12 to 25 one-day-old chicks that they raise into their own flock of laying hens, and they can start a small business from that, selling their eggs or even selling some of those birds after they've completed the project with a show and sale that we host in September or October each year. So that is a great way for some of our kids to learn responsibility and to get a livestock project under their belt. If you don't have room for maybe cattle or sheep or horses, chickens can be a great option. Don't require quite as much room, and most anyone with a backyard, if they want to, can build a shelter and house some chickens. So if you're interested in Chick Chain, we need to know that by February 2nd, but we're excited for another big group of Smith County Chick Chain participants and excited to get that project kicked off.
Great. So a lot going on in 4-H.
Absolutely.
And one thing I wanted to ask you about, I know there may be a misconception about 4-H that somehow 4-H ends after 5th grade, because we seem to see a lot of kids that they go on and they do sports and other things, and that's great, but there's a lot of activities in 4-H past 5th grade, and in particular, I know one of our high schoolers had a big time trip, a couple of big trips in the last week or two, so you may want to tell everybody about that.
Absolutely. So you guys may know, if you follow our Facebook page, you might have seen a picture of Grace Harville after she won 2nd place at a national contest. Her and her mother recently traveled to Denver, Colorado for the Western National Roundup, where she competed in prepared public speaking and was named reserve champion. So she's an 11th grader. She's been doing 4-H since she was in 4th grade, and just goes to show you all the opportunities, even more opportunities really, in high school that come up. Along with that trip, Grace and I were lucky enough to get to attend the American Farm Bureau Conference this week in Nashville at the Gaylord Hotel, and President Trump actually spoke at that event, and we stood in line and got in the room and got to hear him speak, as well as Reba was there. We heard her speak, and President Trump actually signed a presidential mandate to expand rural access to broadband. So we got to witness that, and that was a pretty once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and a lot of fun.
Yeah. So point being, 4-H provides a lot of opportunities that are pretty unique beyond just what we do in the clubs.
Absolutely.
Although those things are really good and a lot of fun when you talk about
Absolutely.
public speaking and demonstrations and things like that. So I hope you'll encourage your children or grandchildren, friends, neighbors that are 4-H age, 4th through 12th grade, to get involved if they're not already involved, and encourage them in that, because there's certainly a lot of great opportunities in 4-H. So let me push our website, plug that. There's a lot of information about 4-H as well as agriculture and family consumer science. If you go to smith.tennessee.edu, you can find a calendar of events of the different things that we've talked about today, as well as other things that we may not have gotten to. So anything else you want to leave us with, Katie?
I think up next we actually have an episode of Season with Grace Harville, who we mentioned earlier. We're excited to see her new episode of her cooking show.
Hi everybody, welcome to our next episode of Season with Grace. This month, since it is Christmas time and the holiday season is just around the corner, I'm going to be making a delicious Christmas coconut cake that is absolutely delicious. I have already made my cakes, and the ingredients for that include butter, sugar, flour, eggs, some coconut milk, and some vanilla. The recipe for that will be on my Season with Grace Facebook page. If y'all would like the recipe for that, it will be on my Facebook page in this week. And I know I've already made my cakes, but I just wanted to show y'all how I greased my pans just to make sure that the cakes wouldn't stick to the pan. And this is a 9-inch round cake pan. These are really nice to have, especially if you're making layer cakes like this one. I bought this pan for about $2.99 at Save-A-Lot. So if you run to Save-A-Lot and they have these, it's a really good thing to have in your kitchen supply. So what I like to do with this is get some shortening, and I go around the edges and the base of the pan. And once you get it in every nook and cranny of the pan, you have some parchment paper, and what I like to do is just place a roll of parchment paper underneath my pan, and then I trace around the bottom with a pencil, and then you cut it out and you should get a circle just like this one. Press that in the bottom of your pan, and then you could just do it like this, but I like to go the extra mile, and I like to flour the sides of my pan just to make sure that the sides of the cake do not stick to it. So that is how I grease the sides and base of my pan so the cake wouldn't stick. And now we are moving on to our delicious filling that's going to go on top of our cake. It's really delicious. So first I have some sour cream. Some milk, some coconut flakes, and some sugar. And we're just going to mix this up until it's all mixed together. And this filling is really delicious because once you get the cakes onto your cake plate, we're going to pour this over the top of each layer. And whenever we go to assembling our cakes, I am going to poke holes in the cake, and you want to make sure that you get this filling in every single piece of it so that it will be nice and moist. All right, now I'm going to go over here and get one of our cakes. Plate. And we're going to take our first layer of our cake, and I have a 1/2 cup measuring spoon which I'm going to use to scoop out the icing. But before I do that, I'm going to poke some holes in the top of the cake. And you want to get a pretty good amount of holes poked in your cake because you want that delicious filling that we've made to seep into every bit of your cake. And you don't want to have like little dry patches of cake either. You want to make sure that everything is nice and gooey and moist. All right, and so now we are going to take our 1/2 cup of filling and just spread it around onto our first layer. And you just want to go around in a circular motion like this, so that way you're pressing the filling into the cake. That looks good. And on your second spoonful, you want to try to do 2 spoonfuls of filling per each layer. And on your second spoonful, you want to make sure that you get all the way out to the edge of the cake so that every single piece of it will be covered. All right, this looks good, and I'm going to continue with the other 2 layers. We have our cake layers finished with the filling in between each layer, and so now we're going to start on our icing to go on top of our cake. And we're going to add some sugar some light corn syrup, some egg whites, some cream of tartar, and some water. We're just going to mix this up until it's fully combined. And we're actually going to cook this on a double boiler. For those of you who don't know what a double boiler is, it's normally just a pot of boiling water with another pot that has your ingredients in it. But today, instead of using a pot to stir the ingredients in, we're going to use a metal bowl. So I'm just going to take this over here. And we're going to mix it up with an electric mixer for 3 to 5 minutes. So I've just finished my icing for our coconut cake, and how you know that it's finished is whenever you take the beaters of your mixer, whenever it comes up and makes a nice soft peak, that's when you know that it's ready. So we're just going to take this over here and we're going to mix in some marshmallows. And we're just going to fold these in until they get dissolved. So I just finished up on my icing for our cake and I let it cool in an ice bath. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour some of the icing onto the top of the cake, and we're just going to ice the sides of it as well. And you can use one of these cake spatulas. They're really handy to have whenever you're spreading frostings or icings like this. And if you make a mess, that is perfectly fine. You're in the kitchen, it is perfectly fine that you do that. So we're just going to spread this on the sides and all over the cake. And it doesn't matter really if you have patchy spots of cake that do not have icing on it. There we will have some coconut to cover that up with. So I'm just going to finish frosting the sides real quick. I have garnished my cake with some coconut flakes, and now I'm going to let y'all see what it looks like whenever I cut into it. It's going to be absolutely delicious. Yum, I cannot wait to eat that. If you would like a copy of any of the recipes that I've done on Seasoned with Grace or the recipe for my coconut cake, you can go to my Facebook page, Seasoned with Grace. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I hope your day is seasoned with grace. We'll see you next time.
Hi, I'm Barbara Knappel, and I'm the director of the Smith County Drug Prevention Coalition, and we are glad for this opportunity to share our message with you today. And I have with me a staff member from our office. He's kind of new to our office, about July. He started with us.
Yep.
And this is Tommy, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Well, I'm Tommy Angel, and I'm a ROPES. I'm a regional overdose prevention specialist for the Smith County Drug Prevention.
So tell us what a regional overdose prevention specialist does.
Well, it's a long name, but it's not a lot. What we're doing is actually, with the crisis of the opioids and opiates, we are out training and trying to prevent overdoses, any high-risk agency, high-risk person, at this time, and distributing naloxone, which is a drug.
Saves lives, and we did have 33 overdose deaths in 2016. Don't have those 2017 numbers yet,
no.
But we're hoping that those numbers are down and
yes.
greatly in the Upper Cumberland region overall. Yes. So a lot of people tell me they don't know what naloxone is. So tell us why naloxone, how it saves lives. What is it?
Okay, naloxone is actually a drug, and it's just a reversal of an opioid or opiate. And when we're talking about opioids, we're talking about pain medications. Opiates, it can be illicit drugs such as heroin.
Okay, so it can actually save lives.
Yes, it's the only drug on the market, the only reversal drug for an opioid or opiate overdose.
It can reverse an overdose.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you take it and you're not having an overdose, is it going to be harmful to you?
No.
No.
As far as we know, it was introduced in '61 and started being used in the United States 1971, probably nationwide. And at this time, there's been no major reactions to the
No major reactions, okay. I know also in 2016, our EMS director said it was used 55 times to reverse overdoses in Smith County, 55 times. 55. Yeah. So explain that the training that you've done in the Upper Cumberland region. How many people have you trained?
Okay. At present, we cover the Upper Cumberland, which is 13 counties.
13 counties.
13 counties. So, and it's my wife, Suzanne, and I, and we actually do live trainings. At this time, when the state rolled the program out for the grant, we started with law enforcement agencies. So at this time, we've trained approximately 600 law enforcement officers.
In the Upper Cumberland region.
In the Upper Cumberland region.
So they'll be first responders.
First responders.
They'll be able to...
And the reason the state did that, they wanted the first responders who actually, well, like you say, first responders, they're putting their self in harm's way also.
Oh, so law enforcement could be at risk for overdose
yes.
just by coming in contact with certain
yes.
substances such as?
Such as fentanyl, powder fentanyl or a carfentanil, which is in a powder form. And there are instances all through the United States that this has happened where first responders have been had to receive naloxone or Narcan and have been actually had to be resuscitated at the
wow.
scene.
Wow. So we do want our law enforcement, our first responders to be
yes.
protected as well as our citizens.
Yes. The second part of the grant wanted us to actually train high-risk agencies. So this is, like homeless shelters or anyone who deals with any kind of opioid.
People in addiction or people in recovery.
Yes.
People coming out of jail maybe
yes,
that are
yes.
opiate
Anyone
naive.
who's had a overdose prior, which is very high risk.
Right.
And the other part is we're doing a lot of layperson training. When we say that, this can be individuals, group settings, and we're doing these live trainings in all 13 counties that we cover.
So we could have a training in Smith County. We have had
yes,
trainings.
We've had trainings here. We partnership with churches, with civic groups, with businesses, and even like an individual. If you want to be trained by yourself, all you got to do is just give us a call, and we'd be glad to do that. Set up a meeting.
So if we have a family member or a friend, somebody that we know is high risk, we could call. What could we do?
Just call Smith County Drug Prevention Coalition at 615-588-1622 and just get a hold of us. We'll be glad to do it.
Okay, well, we're just here to serve our community. We want our community to come together in unity because as the Speaker of the House has said just this week in a newspaper article, it's going to take all of us working together. And for the health and safety and welfare of our communities, we do need to work together as a coalition. So we invite you to be a part of the coalition.
Yes.
We meet every first Wednesday morning at 11 at the Smith County Chamber of Commerce. We have an office in the Turner Building, and we'd love to have you come by and talk about how you could be part of the solution.
Hey, Chris Hicks from UT Extension here again with my other coworker, Miss Mary Draper. And Mary, I know you've got something you want to talk to the folks about that's coming up, an event you've got coming up.
Yes, the Chocolate Extravaganza, and is sponsored by our county FC. members, and it's coming up on February the 14th. That's Valentine's Day on Wednesday. It'll be at the Chamber of Commerce from 10 to 11, and what we do there is we sell chocolate goodies, any kind of chocolate you can probably think about, and all you have to do is come and spend $5 for a carton, and we'll give you a carton. We provide the cartons, and you can fill it up. The only requirement is that it has to close. And the proceeds are going to a county nonprofit, and this year the FCE County Council chose the Spot. So.
Very good. So February 14th, $5. Now, this is the third year y'all have done that, is that correct?
I think it was actually before that. I'm not sure. It's been a
third year you've been involved with it.
Yes.
Okay. And it seems like the last couple of years they've sold out early, so you may want to get there.
An hour, so
may want to get there
early.
And you know, if you're like me, like last year, I wanted to get the wife some chocolate for Valentine's Day. It did not work out because I was too late, so we need to get there early.
We are preparing to make some more goodies, so hopefully everybody will get some.
Very good. And so donations going to the Spot?
The Spot, and that's an after school, and it's for 7th through 12th grade, and it's free, and they provide a meal there. So.
Very good. Sounds like a great cause.
Yes.
And we appreciate the work that the FCE clubs do and that you do putting together this great event. Look forward to seeing you guys at the Chamber on February the 14th. Hey, Chris Hicks from UT Extension here with you again. I'm with KRISTEN Sanders at the Smith County Fitness Center, one of the hidden gems to me in Smith County that a lot of folks are not aware that we have, but a great opportunity here at the fitness center. And KRISTEN, I know this is a great time of year to be at the fitness center because it's January and everybody's made New Year's resolutions to get healthy and lose weight, and you've got some ideas and some tips that will help them keep that resolution instead of doing like I usually do and staying good for a couple weeks and then forgetting about it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that you can do to help you stay more on track with your goals. Just any goal in general. You want to make sure that you set a specific goal. If you say you want to lose weight, that's kind of very vague and broad. So if you narrow it down and actually write it out on paper. So if you say how much weight you want to lose in a specific amount of time, it kind of is a more focused goal, and you kind of can track that week by week. You could say I want to lose 1 pound a week or 2 pounds a week. By the end of the month, you total this much weight loss. So being more specific with it, writing it down is great. If you write it on your bathroom mirror or on a Post-it note and stick that somewhere that you see it every day, that's good also. And having a partner or a workout partner or somebody who's on board with eating healthy, if they're aware of your goal, they can kind of help you be accountable as well. And then one of my favorites for exercise, if you're trying to keep a daily routine of exercise, if you lay your clothes out the night before or pack your bag the night before, you're a little bit more likely to go to the gym. Everything's already packed. You don't have to get up early to find your workout clothes. It's already set the night before. So
good point.
Good tips there.
Yeah, excellent tips. And I know that's going to help a lot of people because we all know about resolutions. The hardest thing about them is actually keeping them.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So what are some of the programs that you guys offer at the Fitness Center here in Smith County?
So here at the Fitness Center, you can sign up for monthly memberships. There's no contract or sign-up fee, so you can pay a single membership or a family, and with that membership you get access to our gym and all of the equipment that we offer. We do some personal training / small group training where I get in contact with the client and schedule sessions, so we offer that. There's currently no class schedule here, but you can come in at any time during the hours that we're open and get a good workout in, or schedule a session with me and we can take you through a personalized workout program.
Great, and that's going to help with the accountability part of that.
Yes, if you schedule it with me, it helps several ladies. It helps them know that they got to come here at this time, and I can even send you a text to remind you and help you stay accountable.
Excellent. So I see a lot of equipment. You want to explain some of this equipment, what we see around here?
Yes, so we have your normal cardio equipment. We've got treadmills, ellipticals. We've got some recumbent bikes, and those are great if you want to come in here, especially since it's cold outside. If you don't want to run outside, you can get on a treadmill or an elliptical. We have strength machines that get that focus on all of your muscle groups. You can get upper body, lower body, you can get your abs, all on our strength machines. And we have 2 indoor row machines, which those are really good. They're a low impact cardio workout. So if you've got bad knees or ankles, it's good to get on one of those, and it'll help you get your heart rate up as well.
Very good. So if somebody has questions or wants to get in contact with you, website, phone number?
Yes, so there is our website is smithcountyfitnesscenter.com. We are also on Facebook. You should be able to find us just by searching Smith County Fitness Center. And then our phone number is 735-2735.
Very good. And I know you've got an event coming up that you're partnering with some other folks about. You want to tell us about that?
Yes, so let me make sure I get this correct. On Tuesday, January the 16th, there is going to be a free catered event at the Smith County Chamber of Commerce. It will start at 5:30, and our guest speaker is Dr. Melanie Cripps with Smith County Family Chiropractic. She's going to be having some people just give their personal testimony on overcoming their diagnosis with cancer. She's had some family members that have been diagnosed with cancer, and through them learning together and her kind of motivating them to live a healthier lifestyle, they were able to become cancer-free.
Wow.
So it's going to be very interesting. Learning about food, how that affects cancer, and how that affects her different diseases that you may have. Supplements you can take, just healthier things overall that you can do. So again, that's Tuesday, January the 16th at 5:30 and at the Chamber of Commerce. And if you plan to attend, just give her a call at her business, which is Carthage Family Chiropractic.
Sounds great. Sounds like a great event, and be a benefit to a lot of people, I'm sure. So,
yes.
KRISTEN, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.